country of Canada saw our preview video. You guys just nothing to worry about here.
Let me give you a quick rundown of Canada. Real quick. Okay, well, let's just set everything on the record.
Hello and welcome back to Dodgers Debate. I'm Jack Harris, the LA Times Dodger beat writer, along with what I hope is an apologetic columnist, Dylan Hernandez. You owe one to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., to the Blue Jays offense.
I didn't say he couldn't run, which he, I guess, could. He runs very fast.
What about hitting? What about this team?
I didn't say he couldn't hit. I just said he was a little on the toughy side.
Okay, well, how about
Vladdy?
How about to the Blue Jays at large? Because I tried to warn you guys.
No, because I think. Look, Snell was bad today. You're going to give all the credit to himself was he couldn't command anything.
We'll get into it, but generally,
starting pitchers,
the whole country of Canada saw our preview video. You guys just nothing to worry about here.
Let me give you a quick rundown of Canada. Real quick. Okay, well, let's just set everything on the record. Anthem overrated. Poutine sucks.
The anthem's good.
Okay, beer terrible. That said, a lot of great dining. It's very clean. I love this stadium, actually. This is a lot nicer than I remember it being, 10, 15 years ago, the last time I was here. It almost looks like the Opryland over there.
Yeah.
No, I've enjoyed Canada. At some point, I even looked up their immigration laws to see if I might be able to move here. So I do like Canada.
Well,
I just think their baseball team is going to lose to the Dodgers in the end.
Well, they did not lose to the Dodgers tonight.
No.
Not at all. An 11-4 win in Game 1 of the World Series, and in the kind of game that you two did not want to hear about the other day. But, this is what makes the Blue Jays tough. We'll go through it, right? Because this starts with Blake Snell not being very good. He did not command his fastball.
We saw the old Blake Snell, right? And I think we talked about this in one of the previous shows, is that, whether it's Yamamoto, whether it's Glass now, whether it's Snell, right? We've seen these guys kind of evolve into better versions of themselves this postseason, right? And that's what's been so good about this. This is kind of the old Blake Snell, right? The guy that goes 5 innings and runs out of gas. And this was actually at the beginning of the playoffs. This is the exact scenario that I described, where a guy's in the 6th inning, right? And it was Snell that I used as an example, running out of gas. Dave Roberts is kind of sitting there like, well, crap, I don't want to go to that bullpen of mine. Bases got loaded. That was a pretty, he was hoping, obviously, Snell could pitch his way out of that. And, once they went to the kid, poor Sheehan has to come in, bases loaded, no outs, in a World Series game, and kind of what happened.
Now, to counter the Snell point, here's where the Blue Jays are tough, and why I think moving forward this series is going to be tricky for the Dodgers, is because Snell was not great, and maybe was closer to the old version of himself. But, go back through this game. In the first inning, he doesn't get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to chase a curveball and a full count. That's a walk. It leads to 20 extra pitches in that inning. Pressure's building.
The guy's one of the highest paid players in baseball. Of course he's not going to chase something out of the zone.
But this is my point.
It wasn't like the Brewers were just swinging at anything. No, those guys were really good in those games.
I know, but right there, that was a good pitch.
And everything will be fine tomorrow, because Hero's going to wear his lucky underwear. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he's got to go 7, right?
You better
minimum 7. You want 8. Well, Sasaki might have to go 2.
But here's the problem. It's not just that, because I don't think tonight Blake Snell wasn't great. But the problem is if the Dodgers starters aren't great at any point in this series, this Blue Jays lineup's going to get to them. Right. Even in the second inning tonight, Snell throws an 0-2 slider below the zone that Alejandro Kirk singles. Dalton Varsho worked really tough at bats and then gets the home run that ties the game in the 4th. And then, it all leads up to the 6th, where the bullpen was terrible.
Right. But we knew that.
Right, and it's even worse now, because the other problem compounding this is that Alex Vezina is not here because of a deeply personal family matter, as the team called it. He's probably not going to pitch in this series. He would only be able to come onto the roster now if there's an injury anyway. And while obviously, like Andrew Friedman said, that situation is bigger than baseball, when it came to the baseball tonight, that 6th inning, that's the kind of spot that they would like to use Alex Vezina, to be the fireman, to come in and get swing and miss.
Yeah, I think regardless, though, let's be honest, though, right? Today, Snell put them in a really bad spot. He got 15 outs. You can't. This team is not. This team is not built.
He did, but
this team is not built to get 15 outs out of their starter and win a game.
But
they're just not.
But this becomes my point for the rest of the series, which is
But but here's the thing: they have been historically good up to this point. I read somebody wrote, I'm pretty sure it was you, about how like, oh, this is like an all-time great rotation run, this and that, right? And it has, right? And this is a really expensive collection of pitching.
But now,
and I don't think it's unreasonable for us to sit here, no, because any one of these like 4 guys could theoretically be a number 1 pitcher, right?
Sure.
On a staff. And when you're talking about a number 1 guy, granted, like, I know the game's changed, whatever, but like, it's not too much, I think, to ask 7 innings out of a guy, right? Each one of these guys, I think that should be kind of the standard at this point, right? And like, look, somebody might go 8, somebody might go 9, somebody might go 6. No, but I think to get an average of 6 innings, right, 7 innings out of right, an average of 7
they've been averaging 6.5 coming into tonight.
That's not an unreasonable ask. And today, the guy out on the mound, Blake Snell, who has been their best pitcher arguably in the postseason up to this point, just fell short. That happens, right? And to me, that was kind of the story of the game.
I guess here's my question: is how worried are you about it happening again? Because I think that you look at like the way Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched in the complete game against Milwaukee. Right. We agreed. Like it's not that he was all that dominant, but he was facing a lineup that just couldn't do anything with his stuff. And I think this is just a different kind of animal. And if those guys are not, and the margin for error with the bullpen now is less, and if those guys are not close to perfect.
Right.
It's going to be tough, and that's why I think like
when I look at... But that's the thing, right? It's like all these teams, though, like whatever the team is, right? They're all depending on a certain something to kind of get them over the hump. I mean, the Blue Jays have a bad bullpen, right? I mean, they have to kind of...
Although it was good tonight. I mean, Sir Anthony Dominguez came in, got 5 out.
And they have to kind of slug and win, right? I mean, that's how they win, And so it's going to be kind of like your strengths against their strengths, and for the Dodgers to win... They have to go. The rotations what's brought them here.
But that's my point: is that the Blue Jays' strength is taking tough at bats and not chasing and not swinging and missing and not doing the things that Dodgers pitching usually feasts on. That's why tonight, again, yes, Snell's fastball command was off. He was walking too many guys. But the real problem that compounded that is it didn't set up any of his other pitches, right? Like when they didn't have to respect the fastball, they weren't chasing his changeup. I think he gave up more changeups tonight, or more hits on his changeup than he has in his whole career. He gives up a home run to a left-hander.
But that's like a pretty big thing, though, don't you think? Fastball command.
Well,
like that's like such a fundamental piece of it. That changes everything.
It is, but it's also not.
Like you need it. Like I'm sorry, but you gotta like they're paying the guy how much? Like 180 million or something.
Sure.
You gotta be able, like in a game like this. You gotta be able to command the fastball.
I'm just saying, especially as I look at the rest of the series. If
look, he's been great. He crapped the bed today, right?
But Yoshinobu Yamamoto's been too fine at times. Tyler Glasnow, is still can be a wild card, even Ohtani. So we'll flip it to the other side of this, because I think the other thing tonight showed is like if the Dodgers are going to win this series, the offense is going to have to do a lot more of the heavy lifting, which they didn't tonight. They were okay against Trey Savage.
But again, if Snell goes 7 today. Right, that Ohtani home. I'm just saying that Ohtani home run is all of a sudden like a go-ahead home run now, right?
No. Don't give me this garbage time homer. Could have been a go-ahead home run.
And then you got
when I'm down $500 at the blackjack table, and then I bet a little
all you gotta
extra
do is get
win.
Right, and if you go 7 innings, then all of a sudden you just have to go get through one more, and then you get to Roki Sasaki.
I know, but my point is, I don't like you're saying like, just expect 7 innings. I think it's going to be tough to go 7 innings against this Blue Jays lineup. Like you can be pitching well, and just the way they grind you down. Like they're going to be able to get these Dodger pitchers out of the game early, which is going to make it imperative, especially as the Dodgers face the less imposing.
This is my challenge to the Dodgers pitchers. Then let's get pitch 7, right? I mean,
just saying, if this series comes down to the Dodgers,
that's what it's going to come down to, I think.
Well, I know. I think it comes down to can the Dodgers like tonight? They had 2 runs in the first 3 innings. They probably should have had 5. Right, they had the bases loaded at one point.
But they haven't been that team for a while. They haven't been that team since last year.
Well, they were playing at that level, like at the end of the regular season. But that's what they're gonna. Whenever they were last there, that's what they're gonna have to do, I think, in this series, because it's gonna be really tough to hold this Toronto team to like 1 or 2 runs in a game, and you cannot.
Well, their bullpen's also going to cough it up, though, right? They have a bad bullpen.
Not if you have this kind of thing. Like the problem is tonight the Dodgers.
Yeah, but they gave up like 10 runs. I mean,
I know, but
again, like
because
the first pitching change had to come so early into the game. It came after 15 outs. You just kind of can't.
The Blue Jays had to go to their pen after 4 innings.
Yeah, and again, like I think if that inning doesn't get out of hand, right?
Maybe.
Like if that's just a little bit later, if that's like an inning or two more down the road, I think it's a different game. I really do.
The Dodgers had chances to score early. They had to throw Fluharty and Sir Anthony Dominguez out there. Those guys took down 2 innings without really much stress. And then when the Dodgers bullpen was asked to do something similar, they couldn't. And that's why, again, I don't know.
Well, this kind of reminds me, though. They went through that stretch of the season, right, when the bullpen was like really bad. And there was kind of this like
of the season.
Yeah, well, there was right, and right after these losses, there was kind of this unspoken. Everybody knows what's going on, right? Like Mookie Betts after the right, he spoke to us after the game, and he kind of did the like right. Somebody asked him like, "What were you thinking?" In that 6th inning, it's like nothing. I was just watching it the way you were. Yeah, I mean, look, the implication obviously is like, what's he gonna do about it? He can't go out there and pitch. I mean, maybe he can, but like, right? I mean, again, it's just dependent on the starters to go longer. They have to. This is not an option.
Then let me ask you this: like, do you have more concerns about the Dodgers' chances in the series than?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did say, right, and we did talk about this last night, right? Just when we might have been at a certain watering hole, right? That I do think the Vesia thing is, like, from my baseball standpoint, a problem. And again, I don't want to trivialize anything that's kind of going on outside of that. He's got to take care of what he's got to take care of. Obviously, the team understands that, and we know Alex Vesia, right? If he could be here, he would be here. Right? So let's be clear about that. But not having him here, yeah, it really hurts because when you were getting the average 7 innings out of the starters, you basically just needed an inning or 2 to be filled in, and then you go to Roki Sasaki and the game's over, right? And now, like, if all of a sudden you need 3 innings out of the bullpen, and you're taking away kind of one of your main guys that was going to be a bridge to Sasaki, that is a problem, right? And so you do have more exposure now. And again, I think it makes it all that much more critical that these starting pitchers give you 7+ innings, And again, I think, look, and I don't know, I got a good feeling talking to Yamamoto yesterday, right? I think it's in his head that he can pitch deep into games. I think he's going to expect to be pitching deep into games himself. And then his interpreter wears I don't know if you read the story in the LA Times, but the interpreter wears lucky underwear every day he pitches. It's like a rabbit with like evidently rainbow-colored lasers coming out of his eyes.
Very detailed. I'm glad you just every point of that was hit.
Because we work on we pride ourselves on getting all the details.
You got him.
But anyway, so I think he's going to go out. I think he's going to pitch well, and then like once he does that, I think kind of the ball's kind of back in their court because you know what, they're going to have Glass now after that, and they're going to have Ohtani, and these are guys that can do this. And man, like even that the kid that the Blue Jays threw out there. Savage, right? I mean, as well as he pitched, what did he do? 4?
4 innings, struggle, but the offense missed chances to like really,
right?
And that to me, like,
but they also got him out of there, right? In theory, they got into the pen, which I do think over the course of the series,
but those were not stressful innings.
No, they weren't. But you're right. But like, I do think just the fact that they were able to kind of get him out, it does set up for good things to happen because that's not a good bullpen, And I just think
it might be better than the Dodgers right now.
Yeah, well, they're both probably bad. I mean, at some point I turned to Bill Plunkett, our friend from the Orange County Register, and I'm like, this game's going to end like 10-9 or something, Well,
you got one of the scores pretty close, right?
But I think we're going to see some games like that, right? And I just think that I still think the Dodgers have more.
All right, well, the starters either need to go 7 or the Dodgers need to score 10 runs. What a great recipe.
7 innings is not...
7 innings is hard in the playoffs. You're saying
you're
this
young,
like,
Jack.
Just Yama, go out there, man. 7 scoreless, no big deal.
No big deal.
That is a good lineup over there. That is a good lineup, and it is, I think, especially well suited to give this Dodger staff problems if they're not perfect, and even then, like it's going to be tough. So we have a series. Not going to be a sweep.
We do. Yeah.
Well. Not going to be a Dodgers
I will say this. I do have a bad feeling that we're going to be coming back here.
Yeah, it seems fair.
As much as I do like it here. It's just a real pain to get far. Here.
I'm sure all our new Canadian viewers from last week are gonna enjoy.
I know. I'm trying to kind of like. Is there anything I can say? What else do I not like about Canada?
Well, we'll be back here tomorrow night. Dodgers. I'll end here. Must win tomorrow for the Dodgers.
I mean, every game's must win. Wasn't Plashke saying before this that game 1 was must win?
I don't know.
He always
already
likes-
wrote that they were going to be going undefeated the rest of the way.
Oh, that's
so,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen because Toronto came to play in Game 1.
Well, I know a writer here. He picked the Dodgers in 3.
Yeah,
It was like a good
he
bit.
did.
You know,
Well,
so
maybe it'll be the Blue Jays in 3.
maybe it will be. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching.